Hey everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So we are continuing our tour of the Grand Oriental Series from McClelland's. And today we are going to do Classic Samsun.
Yeah.
Last month we did Smyrna #1 and had a really good experience with that one. And so we're going to continue today with the Classic Samsun. So let me read a little bit to you of what McClelland had put on their tin for Classic Samsun. In the hinterlands just south of the Black Sea in eastern Turkey, these prized Oriental tobaccos draw their sweet, nutty flavor from the rocky soil as they have done for 350 years. Enjoy the distinctive, mellow, pleasant character of the famed Samsun in this fine blend. Also, a few notes from McClelland. It says, Samsun grows in the Black Sea region of eastern Turkey. McClelland has secured the finest Samsun modern canic leaves. They are small, thin, and elastic with a mellow, pleasant, distinctive aroma. Their sweet taste is like the sweetness in a nut or sunflower seed. They come from the hinterland of Samsun, mainly to the west of the Yesi-Irmak River Delta, where the climate is very similar to the best Macedonian and Thracian growing areas. Samsun and all classic Oriental leaves are picked one by one as they ripen, like flue-cured Virginias. If picked too soon, so that the sap remains in the leaf during air and sun drying, the sugars will evaporate with the sap. If allowed to ripen too much on the plant, the leaf will be dry and brittle. Tobacco farmers of the classic Samsun growing region have elevated these harvesting and curing processes to a high art. Taste what comes from 350 years of experience. All right. So, this is a McClelland blend. It's an Oriental. It has Oriental Turkish and Virginias in it. Essentially, it's got Samsun in it.
Yeah.
Right? And their famous Virginia that McClelland would always use.
Yep.
No flavorings. It is a coarse cut. It comes in 50-gram tins. This is no longer in production like all the other McClellands. And I just bought this tin at the Texas Pipe Show, and it cost me $55,
Which is a good deal.
Yeah, and it's 50 grams is 1.76 ounces. The strength on this one is moderate. The flavoring on this is there's none detected. So we are going to go right into this and give you our thoughts about this this old blend. Now, what we're smoking is 2014 year.
So almost 10 years.
Yeah, so it's a 9-year-old blend. All right, so let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about this one. So let's talk about the tin note first.
So in the tin note, I get that nutty flavor that they're talking about, that nutty scent, but more of a toasted version of a nut. You know, like toasted pecan or toasted cashew kind of smell. Oh, some light splice. That McClelland Virginia flavor, although present, it's reduced. It could partially be because of the, Samsun type leaf that's in there. Maybe it's overpowering it, or it could be because it's just a well-aged product.
It's a pretty delicate leaf. That Samsun's a pretty delicate leaf, so I don't think, depending on the quantity that they put in there.
I've never smoked a blend with something that has said Samsun in it, so I don't even know what happened to the Samsun leaf nowadays.
Wow. So, yeah, just a beautiful earthiness. That nuttiness is coming through. If you really move the tobacco around and take a whiff, you'd get a little hint of a dark chocolate in there as well.
Yeah. Maybe a slightly pruny type fruity scent as well.
Yeah. I get a breadiness from the Virginias in there as well.
Yeah, that really kind of nutty bran muffiny type smell comes through very, very strongly on the initial. On
The
this.
spice on the scent is very light, very, very light. There's a sweetness that you can smell in this, almost like a honey almost in there.
Yeah.
And there's a vegetal and floral hint in there as well. But man, mostly what I get is that earthy, toasty nuttiness, along with
That
a
bready,
little
yeasty
Yeah.
type scent too.
and
Really
a little
comes
bit
out.
of a dried fruit kind of smell, along with some sweetness. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's not like any other Oriental that I've ever really
No.
smelled.
This is a very interesting Oriental because a lot of times you'll get that spice from the Orientals and the Turkishes coming through. It will really ring true with most of those blends. And this one, it seems very, very, very light, very minute, and you get a lot of the bready, sweet flavors that are kind of coming out.
It's interesting. All right. Well, let's talk about the taste. What are you getting out of the taste?
Everything that I thought I would get in the 10 note, I am now getting right through the taste. Initially, right when it hits, is that bready, nutty toastiness. And then it gets kind of a subtle tartness right there at the end. It comes through real sweet, real very, I don't know, it feels almost perfect for this time of year with colder air in the outside, and it's just that breadiness comes right through, and it makes you feel warm and comfortable with a light little tart that just kind of plays with your tongue a bit to keep drawing you back into it. Maybe a little fruitiness, some cinnamon kind of allspice flavors, maybe a little bit of clove coming through.
It, to me, there's a bread that we buy at Central Market, a breakfast bread that has some fruity, like raisins in it, and some apricots and things like that. And I'm getting that bready, fruity sweetness from there, along with a slight baking spice, maybe cinnamon.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I got more of the chocolate smell from the 10 note than I do from the taste.
I was just about to say that. The tartness is reminiscent, and I don't know if it's because, you know how like dark chocolate has that bittersweet flavor. On the back end, on the exhale, I get a little bit of that. But it's mostly overwhelmed by the fact that I keep puffing in.
I got it.
Get what I'm saying?
It's a Fig Newton.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a Fig Newton.
It's like going over and over and over into this bready, thick, very nice mixture. And then right at the end, when you get those chocolatey, fruity flavors coming through, I don't know about you. I'm such a quick smoker that I'm already inhaling for the next the next puff. If it's something I like, it doesn't last long in a bowl.
Man, I don't know why I didn't catch that before. But yeah, it's like a Fig Newton.
Yeah.
It's like a Fig Newton with a little bit of a sourness at the end.
Yep.
Like an orange zest sourness.
Oh, yes, kind of like a cranberry type flavor almost too. Yeah,
that's a good.
A cranberry tartness. Yeah.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's just a pleasure to sit here and smoke this.
I mean, it just reminds me of like this last weekend. My wife made a drink with apple cider, oranges, allspice, cloves, cranberries, and all those different flavors mixed with the apple tartness. And right there at the end, I just keep getting back and going, this is an amazing smoke for wintertime. It's nice and full. You get a full satisfaction out of just the simplest of draws. I haven't had any relights. I haven't had any needs to keep going back to baby this blend. It could
I've got
age.
a Bruno Newton's that I'm smoking here, and the bowl is conical.
Mine is it's much smaller, but this is Il Chepo, and it is very conical too. Like, and it's an abrupt whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, within like half an
It's kind
inch.
of really kind of concentrating all of those flavors down in one spot.
Exactly.
You know?
Within I would say with this bowl, within a good half an inch, it goes from an inch diameter to the top of the bowl all the way down to probably a quarter of an inch at the spout. So it drastically drips it down.
There's nothing about this that I dislike.
Mm-mm.
Really. I mean, there's always something, it's got little rough edges here, or, this, or, I could add a lot of Kia to it, or whatever. This is perfect the way it is. All right, let's talk about the room note. What are you getting?
Interestingly enough, in the room note, I would say here is where I get a little bit of a kind of a leathery smell. I would say that it's more of like a straight leathery kind of smell in the air. You get a little bit of the floral, a little bit of the spice going through, but that breadiness comes back out as a very fresh scent, a very worked leathery scent. I really don't know how much or to say it. I lose the chocolate completely in the room note. To me,
Yeah, in the room note, I get a pleasant smokiness, kind of that musky. I think that's what you're going for, is that leathery, but a musky kind of a scent, and the sweetness is gone in the room note.
Yeah. I think that's. I think I agree with you. That's much better than just keep saying leathery. It gets musky.
Yeah.
Not bad, not offensive, because it's very calm. It's very reserved.
It's not strong. It's strong.
I would say it's a pleasant room note, especially to your traditional smokers or your guys who regularly smoke your English blends or things like that. This is a very pleasant smoke.
God, this gets better. This is 14.
I can't imagine.
I don't know what the 2007 would taste like.
I'm willing to bet money that there's a part of us that might not open that up until
A really special occasion.
yeah.
Guys, you've got to try some of this. This is fantastic. I'm loving every bit of it. All right, moisture. I actually felt like it was a little wet.
Yeah.
I mean, it for what do we say, 9 years old?
It was a little
It's-
springy and a little moist.
It's
Yeah.
still holding its moisture really, really well. So, I tried drying it out for about 10 minutes. And it really didn't affect the flavor that much. So, I'm thinking, you just smoke it the way it is. you
Yeah.
know?
It's probably partially due to its coarse cut nature. It's not flat out ribbons or anything like that. It is very choppy.
Yeah.
So there are some pieces that are bigger than others, and they're holding their moisture pretty well. I didn't, but like when I came over, first thing I came over, I sought out this pipe specifically because I knew I wanted to smoke this pipe with this blend, just because I knew it handles everything the way I want it to, and I haven't needed any relights, but I think you said it earlier, like before we even started recording, when you were lighting up, you were like, it's a little wet still.
Yeah. Well, if I let it sit for too long, I need to relight. But for otherwise, it's been perfect. It's behaved really well. Burns cool. It's balanced. It smokes dry to the bottom. I get zero tongue bite.
Yeah.
Zero goop in it.
Yeah.
It's cool and it burns relatively slow. It's a mellow taste from beginning to end.
Yep.
I feel like if you put it in the right bowl, like we did, the intensity of that flavor begins to get stronger and stronger, and it just gets better.
Yep.
I could see how this could bite you if you smoke it kind of hard.
I can too. I'm hearing right now it burning through the moisture
Yeah.
in my pipe. But that's
Yeah.
just because I keep my charcoal bed on top so hot that it will just sizzle through everything going through, and I can already hear it happening.
Yeah, and I said that it burns, dry. I'm starting to get just a little
dottle.
bit of a gurgle, and I think that's due to the shape of the pipe, not the tobacco.
Yeah, because everything's going down to a central point.
So that just took it away. So I would suggest you have plenty of pipe cleaners with you. What do you think about the nicotine on this?
Mild to moderate, leaning more towards the mild side of things, in my personal opinion. I feel like Balkan blends or Oriental blends or things like that tend to have a little more oomph to it. And so this one I feel is a little less than when it comes to the oomph side of the nicotine hit. I could see myself smoking through a whole bowl of this, and then 30 minutes later, if you said, hey son, you want to go have a smoke? Yes, I will have another smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, the nicotine on this is nominal. It's not strong at all. It's mild to moderate to me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I would put it.
Yeah.
Well, like we said, this is out of production. So if you come across some, you might find some on all the online bidding.
Yep.
Websites or Pipe Stud.
Pipe Stud. Pipe Stud.
You might have it. Like I said,
Turbo
I found
10. You can look in Turbo 10. You're gonna have
You're not gonna find it on Turbo 10. I don't think, simply because it's out of production. People are holding on to it. But you go to pipe shows and stuff like that. You're gonna find it. And it's really, really tasty. I enjoy this.
It is a great blend.
This one compared to the last month's, the Smyrna number 1. What do you think? I mean, they're two different smokes. They're not comparable.
I think that's why it's hard to compare them.
Yeah, take a whiff of that Smyrna if you see if it reminds you.
Yeah.
And the Smyrna was 2012.
Okay. Yeah.
See, this is more of a bitier, stronger Oriental than this Samsun is. The Samsun, I think, if you're a person that's just starting to try Orientals,
this is good.
the Samsun's the way to go.
The Samsun's the way to go. So
Yeah.
I think I will. Gosh, we should.
A mellower smoke, a more refined smoke.
I think it is. And
The Smyrna has bolder flavors.
yeah, the Smyrna's very, very.
Well, compared to this,
It's representing a blend of Oriental.
we're fixing to try some others that I think are stronger than the Smyrna.
Yeah, and compared to this one's much more calm. I would say I would lean more on the Smyrna. But that's because I've learned a cadence to smoke Orientals.
And you like the fuller flavors.
I like those fuller flavors. Those tart burns hitting my tongue. I know how to temper them and work them.
You talk about this, to me, is a more refined smoke. It's for a special occasion.
Yeah.
It'll work in any pipe.
I think so too.
It's a calming. It has a calming effect.
Yeah. It's a celebration smoke.
Opposed to the Smyrna, where it has a little more robust,
Bold flavors.
flavors to it, and a little more aggressive. But still, both are really, really good.
At the end of this, we should rate what our favorite Grand Oriental blend is.
We might have to smoke through all of them again to darn to get it to remember what they were like. All right, guys. Well, that's our impressions on the classic Samsun. Really a gem. You need to give them a try.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll do this again in December. Next week we have our tobacco tasters with the Wilke aromatic that we had is the Maple Plum Spice that we're going to do, which is kind of our Thanksgiving blend. Last year we did the LJ Peretti Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
So we didn't want to do that one again, but this was as close as I could find
To a Thanksgiving
to
dinner.
something a little different.
Yeah.
So we'll give you our thoughts on that one next week. But until then, make sure that you are watching and commenting and giving us your feedback. We really do appreciate all of that.
Absolutely.
And we're nearing the 4,000 mark.
Yep.
We've got like 25 more that we need to get to that mark. So
Yep.
if you've got any buddies that are smokers as well, please turn them onto our channel.
Please do.
Don't forget,
Make all your piping moments count.
we'll see you next time. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.